Shalom Akim, y'all bachim y'all shabachim kagash brakatam. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me, man. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying to see if I can pull this up. Okay, yeah, I hear it. That's what's up, man. Shalom, shalom. Y'all bachim y'all shabachim kagash brakatam. First off, I'm gonna say call hello, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shabachim, Kahakwadash. Send double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to y'all. I'm out there pushing the word of sincerity and truth. It's Brother Ariala. Another location. Maybe I can open up some of these windows and stuff like that. Let's get some light up in here, man. Just a chill day. A lot of good news going out, so I figured I'd do an Algo. Brothers was rolling with news in the chat, so I said, hey, man, let's go ahead and go live, go over some of this news. There's been a lot that's been happening, you know, as far as when you read the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. We've been touching on that scripture a lot on the highways and byways just because it's just so relevant when it talks about the beginning of sorrows. As a matter of fact, I believe I'll open up with 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. I'm going to share my screen real quick with you, Akyam, and all the brothers and sisters on. But I want to lead this into basically going into Matthew 24 and corresponding gospel scriptures and, you know, 2nd Ezra 9 on the beginning of sorrows, and then kind of leave off with talking about the kind of, in my opinion, one of the biggest things happening right now is the situation going on in Russia and the Ukraine and its implications prophetically. We did a live show last week on that, but it's just turning up. It's so good, man. It's so good. So good that I even got me a bottle of wine just to go over the news and look at it. But things are popping off the page, and it's really cool to see how Yahweh Shem Yahushua has this thing manifesting. Let me share my page, my screen, and we'll go here. Share that right there. Boom. Start off here. In 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, starting at the top at the first verse, it says, and he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So he's telling Ezra here, hey, I'm going to tell you about these things, right? When you see signs of parts of these things pass, like the things I'm about to tell you, you're going to know, all right? You're going to know at that very same time, the Most High is getting ready to visit this place, meaning bring judgment. The judgment that was always in the Old Testament prophecies that the prophets were always looking for, the impending destruction of this current world and the evolution of the kingdom of heaven, meaning the promise, that rest. When you read the Bible and you hear where it talks about that rest or that promise, is always going back to the inheritance that was meant to be given to the chosen seed that came out of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. In the Hebrew, we say Yashar Allah. He is a prince of God. All right. So those of you who are first tuning into this is a World War III algorithm from a biblical perspective. We're filtering out biblical prophecies that show you how the Most High is determined for World War III, Armageddon, the destruction of what we understand of this current empire. But in the scriptures, when you read those prophecies, there was always this emergence of this everlasting kingdom that was prescribed to come out of it. Right now, we're in the midst of the last days of the last days. Since Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ, died on the cross, we have been in the last days, meaning a time period to where there's going to be a transition of power and kingdoms. There was all these prophecies said to happen in the midst of those last days, right? Now we're in the last days of the last days, meaning fire truly can't consume the earth in an hour. Literally, that's been built and put here, and it's in the minds of men to use that technology. We'll take a toast to that. Kwam Yashala. The heathen, the enemy of the nation of Israel, the enemies of the nation of Israel, are going to destroy themselves. And we are seeing some of those signs right here, okay? want to stay up with you, Akim, on the comment board. And here we go. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 2 says, Then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right? For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. So the end is showing itself. That's what the word manifest means. It means to reveal. When you look up the word revelation, it goes back to a manifestation. A manifestation of what? Prophecies. This is how you measure the time diligently in itself. You're looking for those prophecies, those things that were said before to happen, and now it's happening. Okay, so here we go. Let's go just to a few news clips that I have here. All right, who is this? Kadash Abaria. Kadash Abaria. I just gave. I felt like I beautifully explained what I'm talking about on this live stream. So if there's so many other videos that we have on this page, even in particular, that you can go to get more edification on that topic. Right now, we're talking about the WW3 algorithm. If you can't hold your water, then just leave. And if you're not adult enough to deal with that, leave. And anybody else that all right. So this is what we're talking about right now.
When help can finally get its feet on the ground, this is what they'll find in Tonga. The first images taken at ground level show what the tsunami and volcanic ash have done between them. But progress is being made. The runway should be cleared for an Air Force Mercy flight tomorrow, and the Navy should get there the following day to help evacuate the worst hit areas. But as help arrives and things become clearer, so too might the scale of the casualties and fatalities.
And briefly, real quick, we did a live stream. I did a live stream probably about 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, going in on the whole issue about the law, the fringes, and traditions. I went over Acts the 15th chapter. I touched on that. Elder Yashawamba followed up with that, and specifically we talked about the book of Galatians. In the book of Galatians, Paul tells you the purpose of the law as a schoolmaster pointing you towards the righteousness of Hamashiach Yahushua. It's just like, you guys, if you don't understand something, go back and listen to it again. You have to really become students, because we're saying the same thing. The words that we're saying ain't changing because the book ain't changing. Literally, Paul goes through the whole idea of the purpose of the law in the book of Galatians. The whole book explains to you that it was a proving ground until the faith of Yahushua comes. We came out of Egypt heathens, needing to relearn righteousness, to the point of children to say, hey, follow this law. It'll allow me to not be pissed off at you enough so you can be in my land. We couldn't even do that. So Paul explains it. Hey, man, you guys tuning in, man. You need to humble down, man. Go back and watch the videos again. Take notes. Take more notes. Slow down and really read. A lot of you guys are just watching videos. You're not reading. Go and read the text. There's only so much a person is going to be able to talk at you. Go and read and slow down. You're going too fast. A lot of you guys want to just be superhumans. And then when you need to just be you, just chill out and just read and learn and slow down. Calm down. Okay? That's what happens when you watch 80 million different camps. Y'all confused and you're flustered. Listening to little bitty boys. Do you really think Alazar is going to lead you? Grow up. No, he's not. He's just a person that knows a lot of scriptures that's been around for a little bit. He's a little kid. The fact that you guys are taking him so seriously as some type of leader for the new world and coming to the nation of Israel, listen, your salvation, he's the leader of your salvation. And come on, bro, grow up. No. He's not exhibited any of those type of characteristics. Anyway, back to it. Whoever, you can clip this out, man. That needed to be said. I'm not gonna even take it back. Going back to this. I'm gonna rewind, start over, man, because that pisses me off a little bit. You know? Second Ezra, the 9th chapter, man, where I opened up and I was talking about the beginning of sorrows. I used this first clip here to illustrate earthquakes, floods, unprecedented volcanic eruptions happening underneath the ocean floor. These are things we haven't seen. They said that this eruption is something that hadn't been seen in, it was either 100 or 1,000 years. I believe it was a century. These are prophetic events. Okay? And hey, bro, it's okay, man. It's okay, bro. I'm not mad at you like that. It was meant to go down. It was meant to go down. You know, and I wasn't, coming down on you, bro. But there's a lot of concepts, and we're in a serious time. We're not in time about, a whole bunch of playing around, man. A lot of stuff we defending the gospel ain't, a lot of these people is swine. And you don't even need to cash it. You ain't cast no pearls to them. Fuck them. Okay. A lot of these people ain't shit, man. They don't see the big picture of what we're doing. This is war. Not little kids playing around. This is actual war. And if you gonna wait until shit get too serious before you realize it.
Pacific Affairs correspondent Michael Morrow reports.
Aucklander Moti Pahuli was born on Namuka Island and grew up on neighbouring Mango Island. His homeland is not just destroyed, he's also lost a family member.
Absolutely devastated. Not only we've lost a relative, very close relative.
Slovakia, that noise
everything
loud
else,
in the
that
background.
little island is gone. It was a beautiful little island.
That was it on that, man. I don't want to watch that anymore.
Its capital, Nuku'alofa, is January, and
Sound.
on Saturday, the 15th of January, an underwater volcano erupted off the islands of Tonga. It caused an enormous tsunami with waves that travelled as far as New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Peru, and the US. Pressure changes in the atmosphere were still being detected in the UK more than 10,000 miles away, 15 hours later. Here's what happened.
Bro, so you have this volcanic eruption happen, and it's felt literally almost worldwide. This is prophetic stuff right here, man. And that thing is still tremoring around underneath the ocean floor, man. The Most High will beat your ass with the earth. Okay? He's in control of all of that. Ain't no getting around it. When you read here, let me see. I'm going to find it real quick. This is in Psalms 148. Pull that up. The footnote on it in Psalms 148, the whole creation invoked to praise the Lord. Why? The Most High controls everything. And when we start to see volcanic eruption, earthquakes, these are judgments from the Heavenly Father, man. In the book of Second Ezra, talks about scourges for amendment. If somebody can pull that up and post it on the comment board, scourges for amendment. So when we see these volcanic eruptions and of these ice storms, right? The ice storm plague in America.
What's going on, guys?
And it's been, even in Texas, we feeling it, man. Be 70, then it's 26. Then the whole East Coast just freezes over on some next level stuff. I believe it probably gonna get worse in the next couple of weeks.
It's Greg here, aka NY Prepper. It is Sunday, January 16th, 2022, and I have an important weather alert to share with you guys. So we have the entire eastern United States under a winter storm warning, and a widespread area of 6 to 12 inches is expected across pretty much most of the interior portions of the eastern United States. And there's going to be also some strong winds in coastal areas like coastal Maine, Cape Cod, basically all of coastal New England. There's going to be 60-mile-per-hour winds or even greater.
Look at that.
And there's going to be coastal flooding as well. There could be minor to moderate coastal flooding in places like coastal New England, Long Island, South Jersey, the Delmarva Peninsula, and all the way down to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. This is an absolutely massive storm, and it's what I call a snow-a-cane because it's basically like a hurricane. It's just in the winter time. And most people would call these nor'easters, but I call them snow-a-canes. And after this snow-a-cane passes, there's going to be a fresh batch of Arctic air that's going to move in midweek, and it's going to drop temperatures in many of the big cities in the east.
Yeah, when you look in the scriptures, it's called blasting. That's blastings, man. Cold, rigid blastings. You can have blastings that are hot and blastings that are cold, man. Both. And it can ruin everything that you actually tried to put in the ground in October. And just ruin that whole thing, so where nothing comes up in March. It's just destroyed. You know? The Most High will blast this thing, man. And that's judgment. That's the judgment of the heavenly. That's just a little bit of the beginning of sorrows that we read about. Just a little pieces of how the Most High will do that, you know? You go down in the book of Isaiah 28, and I'm start at 2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the land. And you know, we have the news out there that they talked about how China was setting up some type of artificial sun or shooting a rocket, doing whatever they was doing, man. We don't know the implications that they'll have, how the earth will respond to that, what the Most High will have the earth do for that type of stuff, man. You know? Most High ain't playing with that type of stuff, man. Anything can happen. The water. Brother put in the Second Ezra 16:19. There's a few brothers that put it in. I'll just read the latest one. Adam Nana put, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. That's all right. That's right, man. Scourges for amendment. Now, here, this is a good page. If you brothers are not subscribed to it, go subscribe to this page. It's called The Financial Argument. I think this is a dual page of something else, maybe the Epic Economist, and this one, I'm not sure, but they have a similar. It's like similar, okay. But I don't listen to every single one because a lot of it is just like too much for me. But occasionally they'll consolidate some things down and make a really good video. And the Spirit just has this where I'll catch those. But they ramble on in other ones.
Just natural disasters. It goes much deeper than that and is... Hi folks, welcome to the Financial Argument. What spurred the global food crisis, which I often discussed in my videos where I continue to urge you to be prepared, is not just natural disasters. It goes much deeper than that and is as if it's a part of a series of plans designed by someone to control people in a new system of their own design.
Hold on, just 1 second. Is it just not? It's just staying on that one page, Akim? It's not even changing. Hold on. Let me see. Share screen. All right, cool. Let me show y'all this right here.
Hi folks, welcome to the Financial Argument. What spurred the global food crisis, which I often discussed in my videos where I continue to urge you to be prepared, is not just natural disasters. It goes much deeper than that and is as if it's a part of a series of plans designed by someone to control people in a new system of their own design. And so it's not difficult to predict that 2022 will be a year of serious water and food shortages that will cause economic...
That's all part of the year to turn up, right? What we just read about here, the brother posted it, 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, 19th verse.
And social disasters on a scale never before seen in human history. But what I'm going to tell you in detail in a moment, based on the latest news about food shortages in this first month of 2022, leads me to believe that the plan for the global food crisis is accelerating. It's coming quicker than we expected. Moreover, the plan is not only a food shortage, it's also a supply shortage. I'm not referring to the supply chain problems we've seen since the health crisis began. This is much greater. I'm not just referring to some foods, toilet paper, microchips, lumber, plastic, and other items with shortages in recent months. I'm talking about basic items we take for granted that we need to go about our day-to-day lives. This will be very difficult for those who are not ready. Some people will never understand what's going on until it's staring them in the face. And by then, they're...
And you don't want to be caught out there, man, with your eyes closed. And this goes for even bros that say you are Israelites, man. We can read all of this stuff, but mentally and the way that you make your decisions, your mindset, you need to really make sure that you're really preparing and understanding these times are upon us and how to get in. We're not in a time where you should be ridiculously selfish, If you want to understand the purpose of the law, it should be pointing you towards the fruits of the spirit that you should just inherently do. But because we ain't on point in this flesh, the law it was a schoolmaster towards that. Okay? So you need to be making sure that you're developing the fruits of the spirit. All of us do. Or your decision-making skills spiritually is going to be compromised in these times that are upon us.
Won't be much they can do, if at all. Unfortunately, some of them may even be close friends or family. If you don't wish to follow the same fate, please watch this video until the end. Never forget that food shortages don't always happen for natural reasons, but are sometimes engineered. Some of you...
And food shortages were engineered all throughout history, all throughout warfare. Famines wasn't just because some locusts came and ate all your crops. That happened. Famine could be set up strategically because of war.
You may have noticed these engineering experiments may be first implemented in far-off and little-known countries the average Westerner does not see in headlines and may not even be able to locate on a map. These nations are essentially test subjects, and their obscurity is exactly why they choose these populations to keep you in the dark. Increased prices and shortages of energy resources are the most important factors affecting supply chains, which is why they're so connected to the upcoming food crisis. In this context, let's start by taking increased prices and shortages of energy resources are the most important factors.
And they're restricting energy resources on purpose. This is why you see Biden shutting down gas pipelines. This is why you see him reverting back to old OPEC when the United States makes tons of crude oil or produces tons of crude oil. It's an engineered shutdown of energy and a crunch on energy, and then they're going to tell you we need to go green. But they're going to make it seem like it's critical times. So right now you have wars happening and popping off in Russia and in the Ukraine area, that whole area of the Eastern Bloc, Europe. And what is the major resource that comes out of that area? Natural gas, oil, and even uranium. Okay. So both ends of the spectrum of energy come out of that area. Uranium is used in nuclear power plants, and that comes out of that Kazakhstan area, Kazakhstan, however you say it. So there's wars around that area and controlling that area, but it really it's just because the most I want these people to go to war. So it's like, all right, cool. You know, Russia right now pumps about 60 to 70% of the energy into Europe. And it's an issue. It's an issue when you have the United States and NATO sitting on the border of your nation, and a nation that you're supposed to be pumping energy through and having good ties with, kind of messes that up. So we're seeing that this evolution of energy and everything like that is a critical part of what they want to utilize to transition to their new world order systems, which is creating chaos with the people. Okay.
Factors affecting supply chains, which is why they're so connected to the upcoming food crisis. In this context, let's start by taking a brief look at a recent uprising in Central Asia. Are you aware of what's happened in Kazakhstan in recent days as a result?
Yeah. So, and you just think about it, man. If you only got $20 and you don't have no bread, but you don't got no gas, most likely you're going to buy the gas. Why? Because you need to go to work so you can get more money to get the bread and the gas. Right? And so energy is the driving force of the economy in a lot of ways on a basic level. If there's energy strains and energy costs is going up, then it's costing more to get the bread to the supermarkets, which it costs more for the supermarkets to pay for the bread to get transported to their store. So they're gonna upprice you to come and get the bread from their store, which they have to be priced up about to get it to their store from the people. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. All these prices are starting to trickle in and affect nations. You see this Kazakhstan is highlighted right now. The energy crisis is causing chaos in this nation. Okay.
Result of rising food and energy prices, we saw Kazakhs take to the streets in protest, with Russia almost usurping Kazakhstan. If you don't know already, Kazakhstan was occupied by the former Soviet Union and remains in Russia's orbit to this day. I also want to note that Kazakhstan was home to the Soviet Union's Semipalatinsk test site, where they conducted 456 tests in the 40-year period before the site closed in 1991. I won't go into more detail because that would require another video, so I'll stick to the point. The way I see it, Russia will tighten its grip on the natural energy resources and companies in this country, which are already under its monopoly. A logical move on Russia's part in this.
Brothers, if y'all want to start putting scriptures in the comment board on the Medes, like Revelation 20, all that, Isaiah, 13, you can post those in the comment boards for people taking notes. Write those scriptures down that the brothers are going to post into the comment boards.
Time of energy shortages and peak prices. What makes Kazakhstan special is that it's one of the world's leading producers of coal, gas, and oil. It's also the world's largest exporter of uranium. It's at the expense of the people on the bottom that those who have access to this wealth of energy are rising. If Russia's coming to their rescue, please think about it. while Russia's price manipulations in the energy sector, which have become more monopolized than ever, will mean more expensive energy for first Europe, then for the United States. It will also be a disaster for U.S. companies investing in Kazakhstan. As Secretary of State Anthony J. Blinken said on the 7th of January, once Russians are in your house, it's sometimes very difficult to get them to leave.
Right. And so you hear the biasness, but I don't care about that. What we want to talk about is the fact that Russia is protecting its self-interest in the Eastern Bloc Europe. They don't want NATO to be on their footstep like that. And so they're really putting their foot down. They've been building up their military prowess. When we're reading the scripture, there's even the one in Ezekiel. I'm pretty sure brothers, yeah, look, they already posted it. Boom. But if you're not taking notes on the comment boards, I don't know what's wrong with you. What more do you want? This is freaking perfect. You got the video. We're showing you how it's really happening in real time. Brothers are posting in the comment boards literally the prophecies that you're watching. What you're reading here, like the brother Domina put, Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall not. Is that not what Russia's having? They don't care about no sanctions. They don't care about that. They're doing whatever. They're doing what they want to do for their sovereignty. Literally, the book of Isaiah 13:17, jumping off the page, right? Apologists of Gospel 144. Bob put Ezekiel 38:4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed in all sorts of armor. Right? I'm pretty sure you added the rest of it. Because brothers are posting so fast. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right? This is Russia, man. They built up they're the Russian bear. So they have the most tanks, ground missile defense systems. When you study their military, which this is a lesson that me and the brother Require Quamdello a while back, maybe like 2 years back, going over all of these guys' military, like what they are really good at. Russia has tons and tons of tanks. They have an immense missile defense system that they can carry and mobilize and move to different sections of the border, and it's super sophisticated. All right, they have simple systems all the way up to like the most, you can shoot a missile at them from like 1,500 miles away. They can freaking record it, shoot a missile back at it, not intercept the missile that's coming at them. Then their systems will detect where the missile came from and then automatically attack the place that attacked it. Really, really good stuff. Like, it's like super good stuff, man. They can detect even when these systems go online and then shoot alerts to them saying, oh, somebody just went online. They look, hey, somebody trying to get aggressive. So they have some really sophisticated systems when you study it. So this is that Gog and Magog, what you're reading about in the scriptures, okay? When you read in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, this is them being a guard unto the nations in this huge regional conflict that's about to pop off. That's Russia. Russia has been a guard to all these kind of, Western resistant nations. They've militarized Libya, Syria, okay? Even Cuba, even Iran, even Venezuela a little bit, we're just even doing naval drills and military drills and stuff like that. That's extremely important. Ethiopia, different places that are in just around that can cause a ruckus. Turkey, okay? All these nations are in league and have had dealings. And when you read in the scriptures, it mentions Libya, it mentions the dragons of Arabia, it mentions Carmenia in the book of Ezra, which is Iran. All these nations are being mentioned, okay? And so we can read this and go over and over and over again. I just want to touch on that because brothers are literally posting all the precepts in the comment board, okay?
This story won't stop in Kazakhstan. You'll soon see the same problems in Turkmenistan, another country in Russia's sphere, which also belonged to the former USSR. The situation there, too, is complicated. Turkmenistan is the largest electricity and natural gas producer in the region. Most of this energy goes directly to China.
And there's always propaganda happening. If you have a food crisis in your nation, then there's always going to be some competing enemy that's going to be coming to the people saying, hey, look at the way your nation's treating you. That's even happening here in the United States. There are people that get radicalized in the United States to being a radical Muslim because they're going through hard times. And somebody gave them a Quran and told them they was a brother, and they start teaching them all this crazy shit. And then they'll put a bomb on their back and walk into the building. Like, that truly does happen, man. When situations when people feel like, man, I've been wrong, you can go in and create these war groups. Okay? So the United States and the CIA, they do that. They will go into these different nations and stir up a fight. Talks about that in Psalms 140. Perpetually, he's just trying to have war. They try to make it seem like that's what all Russia and them do. No, the United States perfected it. All right? They've gone into every nation and just stirred up crap. Okay?
China, and what a coincidence, a number of food regulations were made in Turkmenistan last November. These new regulations were set to become implemented in early 2022. Here's how an engineered global food crisis works. First of all, contrary to what you might expect, it does not simply appear as empty supermarket shelves. When the prices of goods increase, you'll see the products you want to buy in the supermarkets.
And if you guys have noticed, the stock market is all over the place. And really, that's just really, 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 really rich people moving their money. They're taking their gains and they're moving it somewhere. The stock market is not crashing. No, really, 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 people that got billions of dollars, and some people that have hundreds of millions in smaller markets are saying, you know what? I'm up about 37%. Let me take 20%. And then to you, oh my God, the stock market just went down. When the stock market ain't went down, stock market up like a hoe, ridiculously high. You're stupid, retarded, pump the economy. They taking a little 10, 15, 20% gains that they've been accruing for the last 5 years. You just got into the game because you think you're going to take your little stupid paycheck and do something with it. So to you, the stock market has crashed because you just got in. They've been in, so they've been eating. So they're going to take some of that and go move it over here because they know something else is going to happen. Because they're funding it. This was their money. They're the reason why it's happening. That he can do that. And so in there, that's what's happening. There's a translation happening. But this time the translation is going to lead to complete and utter chaos. Like it talks about in the book of Job, the 20th chapter. This time, they thinking they going to take their money, do this, start it, and it's just going to lead to everybody dies. It just goes wrong. That's what's literally we're watching this prophecy start. The beginning of sorrows. You should be excited. It's really, really interesting.
But their prices have skyrocketed. Are we currently experiencing this? The Washington Post reported that in December of 2021, we saw prices in November go up at a rate we haven't seen in 40 years.
Kind of went hard right there.
Here's how an engineered global food crisis works. First of all, contrary to what you might expect, it does not simply appear as empty supermarket shelves. When the prices of goods increase, you'll see the products you want to buy in the supermarkets, but their prices have skyrocketed. Are we currently experiencing this? The Washington Post report.
hey, and if brothers have experienced this, or maybe the wives have experienced going to the store. For me, this is what I've noticed. I've noticed they're spreading stuff out more. Like I'm noticing the shelves be like spread out more with the material. It's like usually it'd be kind of like stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked. It's not like stacked like that no more. It's like the shelf is like spread over more, you know. And we got brothers in different places here in Dallas, so brothers be like, oh, stop and get this, get that. And you stop in the store, so you see different stores in different places, and I've been noticing that. If y'all been noticing that, let me know in the comment board. But I've noticed that at the store. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. Who knows? I don't know.
Reported that in December of 2021, we saw prices in November go up at a rate we haven't seen in 40 years, 6.8% higher than the same time frame in 2020. This isn't just affecting certain items like we're seeing at the beginning of the health crisis. The rising prices are hitting everything from eggs to flour to steak. Beef prices increased by about 20% in a year, with meat in general increasing by 16%. So how are prices deliberately increased? Well, let's take a look at how they implemented their plan. Suddenly a health crisis begins and the entire supply chain and workforce is affected. In the beginning, they told us it'd soon be over, and now the same people are extending the timeline. Next, print excessive amounts of money to speed up inflation, citing the health crisis as an excuse. A couple thousand in stimulus checks.
Bro, how is this dude page not taken down, bro? But we get taken down. We can't even say nothing. I ain't even do that. He didn't even let me finish.
Doesn't help the average American much in the long run, but it does help accelerate the plan. If you really think about it, their methods are simple and straightforward. Then the second stage of the plan begins. In addition to the increasing prices, the supply chain deteriorates, the workforce decreases, weather negatively affects entire areas, the cost of energy increases, and endemic animal diseases become more widespread. Suddenly, there's a scarcity of products in the markets due to many natural and unnatural reasons. Hunger is a very sensitive issue, and
Hunger is one of the most extreme issues of war. Bro, if y'all was nerdy like me and y'all would just go read how a lot of war starts, it's usually around a sandwich. It'd be about food. Food will make men go to war. It will make men go to war. You can go read all these stories in history and all that, and then you get to what really happened. And a lot of times it involves goods and services being mismanaged or someone feeling cheated. And someone feeling cheated, then they shot this person. And then they go to war. I'm dead serious. All right. Yeah, he looks serious. Let's see what they talk about on this. All right, so I want to transition. We talked about the famine. We talked about that in Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. We can read all the famine scriptures and everything like that. But it all centered around Matthew the 24th chapter, which is what I opened up on. Is Matthew 24:6. I opened up on this point. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. All right. So we're seeing more and more of this. Right. Verse 7 says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, for there shall be famines. We just talked about the famines, literally. Pestilences. We kind of touch on pestilences because you can't even say it no more. The Voltron, everything like that comes with the Voltron, the Vicky. We make up all these names about it. But it's a worldwide pestilence. All right. Pestilence 1-9. Okay. And earthquakes. We opened up talking about the earthquakes. Ridiculous. There was an earthquake today. Brother posted it. I can't remember. Maybe it was a brother from Hawaii. I can't remember who posted it in the chat. There was a 6.6 earthquake that literally happened today that killed some people. But it's been record earthquakes. Okay. I can probably type that in. See if something will come up. Record earth Let's see what happens. List of earthquakes. Latest earthquakes. Largest earthquake recorded. Let's say record earthquakes in 10 years. Let's see. See something. Worldwide surge in great earthquakes in the past 10 years. Oh. When was this written? Let's see when this article was written. 2014. Boom, 2014. Worldwide surge in great earthquakes seen in past 10 years. A global rate of great earthquakes nearly tripled in recent years. And I'm pretty sure I can find more. But the earthquakes have been off the charts. Like it's been stupid. There's pages on YouTube that just follows earthquakes all day. Just tell you about the different earthquakes. Because they're just all the time. Ridiculous. The earth is shivering. All right. It says earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. So the beginnings of sorrow, when we talked about measure the time diligently in itself, these are some of the things you're looking for. And they're happening. We want to get to one of the bigger things that's happening right now, which I feel like is delicious.
Ukrainian troops are watching and waiting, saying they are preparing for a fight. ABC's Patrick Regal is on the ground.
Saying they're preparing for a fight. Hold on, let me tell my son.
Good morning, Eva, and thank you. Here in Ukraine, the uncertainty remains whether Vladimir Putin is still preparing to attack. But with a glimmer of hope for diplomacy in Geneva, Russia, though, is still sending more troops to the border. This morning, Ukrainian soldiers are watching and waiting in the snowy trenches of eastern Ukraine. Just across the border, Russian forces conducting military exercises.
There's no sign of de-escalation here.
The high-stakes talks in Geneva between the US and Russia may have offered some hope, but they've not dispelled the fear of a Russian invasion.
If in fact they commit another incursion into Ukrainian territory, they're just going to set themselves up for even more isolation from the rest of the international community. This is not a country that has a whole lot of friends.
Russia is still demanding a guarantee from the US that Ukraine will never join NATO, but the US again ruling out that demand, and Russia rattling its saber just before that meeting, holding a joint naval drill in the northern Indian Ocean with China and Iran. One of Ukraine's top commanders to the east, Lieutenant General Alexander Pavlyuk, says Ukraine estimates there are now 127,000 Russian troops massed near its border. He says his country needs more American weapons to deter Putin. The US is rushing more military aid to Ukraine. These photos overnight showing the first...
Bro, they finna fight, bro. This should be real. They're getting ready to get down, bro. It's happening. These peace talks that they said that they've been having have been failing tremendously. With both sides just, you know, it's like when you don't agree with somebody, and the only thing, but you're trying to be cool, but really you don't agree. But in the back, in your mind, you're like, okay, I see this. You a whole ass nigga. Let me go ahead and just start planning for you, bro. Because I know you a whole ass nigga. But I'm going to be cool in your face right now. But really in the background, I'm getting ready for whatever you got. That's what's happening on both sides. Both of them are looking at each other being like, hey, what's up, bro? I know it's crazy, right? You know, the world, you know what I mean? Both trying. But in the background, they both really get ready to go to war, bro.
Well, the top U.S. and Russian diplomats held discussions today. They said they were frank and honest, but they didn't reach any breakthroughs. Everybody, Giant Storm, don't speak. Well, they're speaking about this. Pretty hard to ignore as the world sits on the edge of World War III. But Blinken and Lavrov spoke for 90 minutes but reached no conclusions. Basically, the U.S. did not bring any written proposals or responses to Russia's demands for security, and that was due today, the 21st. Well, now, the U.S. has said that they will give them some ideas on their proposals by the end of next week, 28th. So on and on it goes, and at this point, they're just buying time as they get their final pieces in place for war. Because None of these meetings are doing any good. If they're either side were, well, if the U.S. side in particular were serious, they would have brought written proposals back to Russia today. Even if Russia didn't like them, they would at least had the courtesy of bringing them back to them and showing them something, but they didn't.
See that?
They just said next week, Blinken said, we'll give you some ideas. So, I mean, it's just stalling for more time, especially on the U.S. NATO side as they get more pieces and weapons into place. And then at the same time, the U.S. is demanding Russia prove it won't invade Ukraine. Well, how are they going to do that? Just by just completely disarming their nation or what? So ridiculous demands once again as the U.S. Secretary of State urged Moscow to convince the world it has no plans to attack its neighbor.
Yep. Apologists of gospel put Revelation 11:14. The second war is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. When you start to see news like this is to me more like, okay, this is good stuff right here. All right, we're starting to see political ties, and it's a political and economic turmoil. It's not just like a political thing, but economically, y'all so tied together. Here, economically and politically, there's a division, and both sides need to move forward quickly because the system is changing. The system is changing. The world that we live in, that we understand, is quickly changing. All right, with the emergence of these new can't even use the words, Voltron systems, and everything that comes along with it. They're gonna push to no contact stores. No contact stores are coming. They want you to just walk in there, get whatever you're gonna get, walk out, but they need to track it, trace it, make sure it's legit. And they're gonna say it's for your health and safety. You want to go back to normal? No contact. Okay. And we got systems failing. Small business owners, like medium to small business owners, cannot afford this market. They will be priced out of this market very quickly. And we're going to see unemployment and chaos run rampant, or underemployment, meaning all you people that didn't want those little jobs, now the guy that was the supervisor that was making $95,000 a year, now he's taking on a $35,000 job at the call center. And he's way better than Shanika. So they're gonna hire him because he's skilled, because he can actually get on the phone and keep business. So now Shanika is gonna live off of unemployment and it's gonna run out. Okay. And so on and so forth with everybody else. You're going to see the upper middle class move into the middle class move into the working class move into poverty. And those that were working class and middle class are going to want to go to war. Those are the people that are going to want war. They're going to want war right now. And those are the people that get, that's how it happens. That's just history.
So how would they do that? Well, he said it was to engage in dialogue and diplomacy, which is what they did today. Really? You had no breakthroughs. You reached no conclusions. And you've had weeks to do so, months. Russia put these proposals out over a month ago, back in early December. So, the fact that the U.S. is not being sincere at all, and Russia knows they're just kind of going through the motions right now. And it isn't just not expanding into Ukraine and Georgia. It's also Russia demanding that NATO pull out from Bulgaria and Romania, and they want NATO to restore the night.
When I was over in Romania, in that area, they did not like the EU, Western. They were pro Russia. The people I talked to, and I was just talking to people, having a good time, chilling, being absolutely soaking up the culture, walking around, talking to people. Because I'm black, people don't want to talk to me. They're like, oh, black person. Hello. Literally talk to everybody. And the type of person I am, you know me, I'm having a conversation. you know, and I'm engaging. Hold on just 1 second. Hey, Shalom Maki, Abashim Shabashim Karash Bakata. Yeah, something you want to say? You want to jump on up? Let's go, champ. All right, I'm gonna put you on. All right. Got the brother from Mississippi, Ayashon, man. Shalom, Maki, Abashim Shabashim Karash Bakata.
Hey, Shalom Zakon, Yahbashim Al Shabashim Kakutas, Barakatah, Shalom Akim, Yahbashim Al Shabashim Kakutas, Barakatom.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, brother.
The floor is open to you. Hold on, let me give me some yah, man. I got the brother on. Gotta get my goblet going. We got war coming.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And the moves that are being made are so serious, but they're taken so lightly. You know,
hold on just 1 second. Hey, for brothers that wanted to call in, don't call me on WhatsApp. Call me on my regular phone. If you have my number to call in. Anyway, go ahead, Op.
Yeah, man, just want to chime in, man, just to add to your edification. And the war moves are so serious, you know, that's happening right now, but they're being taken so lightly, you know, in the West, which fulfills prophecy. Because the scriptures say, you know, how America is the place that are at rest, you know, where the people are careless, you know, because the number one topic, you know, in America is, you know, the 49ers, you know, Westbrook, you know, that's the number one topic. But here you have it, you know, you had a warship, okay, that just pulled up on Sweden from Russia, okay? Russia has 250 Navy vessels, okay, in its Navy, and they just dispatched 155 throughout the earth. The Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific, they pulled up on American aircraft carriers in the Mediterranean. Like Russia is putting itself in position to get busy with the EU. I'm talking about like immediately, like one call, you know, and they ready to get busy with the EU, like cities disappearing off the map, you know? And people don't see the severity of what's going on, but that's why, you know, Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, has men, you know, on their watch, you know, to let, you know, the believers know where we at, man. Like you said earlier, like this look back and forth with Sakari and all this lightweight, okay? Russia just had a submarine come to the coast of Virginia, and America didn't detect it till it was on its way back to the Russian base, okay? And it was a nuclear submarine, all right? So
that's how good that's how good they've gotten with this shit, bro. And I don't think when the scripture says that he's going to be a guard unto them, like we talk about what the S300 system, the S400 systems, that it go all the way to 700, 800 systems, and every single time it's an upgrade. You think your phone upgrading? They upgrading these missile defense systems. They're extremely sophisticated.
And what people don't understand, those missile defense systems, Russia has missile defense systems that can take out American satellites in orbit. You see, this is like I say, Russia can turn the lights out, okay? And going back into the economic aspect of it, the EU depends on Russia for gas. Just to back up your point, what you were saying about Romania, because you had that guy Blinken from America said that Russia doesn't have that many friends. That's a goddamn lie. Okay? The whole EU, like you went over there personally, you seen that's one thing about
Germany, France, Germany and France are not going to side with the EU.
No. Okay? Their natural gas comes from Russia. And at the end of the day, when you look at how Russia deal, Russia has some type of integrity. See, it's America that be on the whole ass shit. Like the EU be trying to tell America, sit your ass down, man. You know? But these niggas won't stop. Niggas just, just shipping military equipment wherever they want to, sending aircraft carriers wherever they want to. And then, like I said, you had Russian destroyer ships pull up on Sweden just because the chief of NATO said, well, look, Sweden and Finland, y'all can join NATO whenever y'all want to. See, the West is talking. Russia is pulling up.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, look, man, we know that we can't take a first strike from America and NATO. So we got to put ourselves in position to strike first. Going to the scriptures where the Most High controls the minds of the king, Russia know that they can't deal with a preeminent strike from America and NATO. So they got to put themselves in position to strike first. The Most High is forcing Russia to rise up to the occasion because they know they can't deal with a preeminent strike for America and NATO.
That Eagle will be devastating. Their Air Force. You have to keep them at bay. Their Air Force is too powerful.
Yeah. So just to bag up your point, just to bag up what you were saying about when you was in Romania, I read this last year sometime on how there's 196 countries in the earth. Okay, Russia has military ties with 111 of those countries. Okay, so that nigga saying that Russia doesn't have many friends, that nigga lying. Okay.
If somebody can put Joel the 3rd chapter into to the comment board, that'll be a good one to go with the brothers talking about.
Yeah, man. So it's
Habakkuk the 2nd chapter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just I just wanted to bag you up.
Hey, man, now go in, bro, go in.
Yeah, the West is pretty much, because people talking about like Elder Quam said, people are already in metaverse, man. Because you have to be in a virtual world not to see what's going on in real life, man. Russia has called every reserve in the country. You had the New York Pepper. He had the footage, with those Russian troops, kissing their wives and their children goodbye.
I think I had that one pulled up. New York Prepper. Somebody sent it into the comment board. I might not have pulled it up over here. New York Prepper. Sometimes he be doing too much, but yeah, he's got a great page.
Yeah. He every now and then he'll drop a hit. But when you call all your reserves, like I said, these are not for drills. When you start moving military equipment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, those are not for drill.
It's expensive, man. Yes. People don't understand the cost of war. You ain't just gonna be sending people here and there and feeding them. They over there eating sandwiches every day, shitting. You gotta clean up and send more bullets. You'll run out of money. So you only do that when it's necessary.
Done. That's why as a leader, you will try to avoid war. Even the scripture talk about counting costs. Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing is pretty much Russia is taking the stance of where they have to be all in because they know that this is a heavyweight fight. Knowing your boxing background, when heavyweights fight, they know that on both sides, all it takes is one punch.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter how good you are, your skill set. They know at the end of the day, you have to respect this man enough to know that he can hit me one time and put me to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and this is what we're seeing with America and Russia. That's why you're seeing nothing but nuclear talk. These niggas ain't got time to be all No, these niggas know that they gotta throw haymakers because this ain't this is it. You see, so this is what we're seeing is pretty much this main event. All right, because you had all these little wars lead up to this moment. But this is the main event, the third woe that the scriptures is speaking of, and Russia plays a major part, going into the feet of a bear, God can make God get the sand of the sea. Russia plays a major part that's going to be the catalyst of the destruction of this Edomite empire and the ushering in of Yahweh Shai and the throne of David. And this is why we could keep up with these things,
This is the World War III algorithm, man. tracking the mechanism of prophecy, man, and how it plays out with the minds of the kings of the earth, how everybody's moving around, this and that, how famine is associated with political upheaval and economic upheaval, and how that leads to war. All these things play a part, and the brother is eloquently explaining to you how the bear, Russia, okay, is they have to position themselves to not take that knockout punch, right? So they have to answer back against aggression from the United States, NATO, the beast system, and it plays into what we read about in Habakkuk, the second chapter, second Ezra, 15, 16, 8, 9. You know, it goes into the ultimate destruction of Babylon that we read about in Jeremiah 40, 49, and 50. It's good stuff, man. Did you have any other points out?
Yeah, that was the point, man. You know, pretty much. Like I say, every prophecy is linked in together. Cause like you're going into the famine, you know, the cost of products. Because when it's wartime, you know, you and Elder Required Form always going to how resources are used up extremely fast. You know, gas is used extremely fast. You know, and one thing about it, a lot of things, you know, are exported to America. Well, if America is the enemy of the earth, ain't nothing gonna be exported, man. You know, them ships not gonna come to America when it's an all-out war. That it will be extremely stupid to feed your enemy and fight it too. You know, so America is finna be, you know, reduced like you were going to the, you know, social economic classes being reduced. You know, pretty much everyone being demoted. You know, it's finna be some suffering. You know, in America, man. You know.
Yep. More reason why this brotherhood is being assembled in the spirit, and a lot of people don't recognize that aspect of prophecy. Our association as clans, as a family, as a tribe, as a nation is going to be critical in these times, man. Think about your friends and family that are not in the truth and what reliance they have on the people that they know. Think about the access that you have for you brothers that are actually, you know, been here and have good standing. You know, I can go to Mississippi right now. I got a place to lay my head. Can't you come to Dallas? Right? So, you know, that is powerful, man. When you really, really think about it, that is very powerful when things are critical. And so Yahweh Shem Yahushua understood how it was. And we see that in the New Testament, how they was able to go house to house and be able to stay out of harm's way just because of the association, because of Jacob's trouble, you know?
Like going back to the time of Acts, you know, when pretty much it was a time of combining resources. You know, that's why you were speaking on earlier, you know, we in the time now, we can't be selfish, man. You know, we gotta be nation minded in these times because
and one of the main things that I was big on is what triggered me is thinking about this whole Sakari situation, and like I really don't think people have a warlike mentality when they understand the implications of the prophecies. Like, bro, if you really think this shit gonna go down like this, is this your leader? You like that's where your decision making is gonna lie. A person who you know, it's like he's just a young guy. I get it, you know, but we're talking about lives. We're talking about like serious. This is not play. This is not just us reading scriptures and being smart and debating. And that's it. This ain't no Tekashi 6ix9ine rap beef. Then it turns serious, and now you know. No, man, this is the end of the world. Seriously, bro. It's the end of the fucking world. Like, what do you believe in? Seriously, man. Like, what do you believe in, bro? Fuck me. Like, it's the end of the world, man. Like, what are you doing? Are you playing around on YouTube? Are you caught up in this shit like that? Like, and it blows my mind sometimes.
Yeah. Because it's a thing of, you gotta digress to deal with these guys who, here we are, nation building, keeping up. Because see, at the end of the day, like I tell brothers is, people talk about being kings, this and kings that. Well, kings, are into worldly affairs, man. Okay, peasants are into the, the soap opera, and the drama of what's going on in town. Okay, the baker, the baker's wife sleeping with the carpenter, some silly shit like that. Like, no, we dealing with worldly affairs that's going to affect the entire planet Earth, man. Like you say, that's some immature, madness that guys have going on. These look back and forth. Now we, respond to edify, man, but this is where our heart's at, man. Okay, like you said, the corn is drinking the young because he knows that he's, according to the prophecy, he's a prophecy closer to rulership, Lord willing.
Bro, it's jumping off the page. It's jumping.
Come on, man. What are you guys here for, man?
Jumping off the page.
Okay. To cut Christians, we passed that. That's old. Cutting Christians is old. Okay. We on something else, man. All right. We talking about an eternal retirement. You see, an actual upgrade. Okay. But that was all I had, brother.
All right, man. The water, bro. Beautiful points, man. Beautiful edification. The water for calling in, man. Hey, y'all bashing y'all, y'all bashing Kakadash Brakata, man. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, y'all bashing my y'all bashing Kakadash Brakata. Shalom.
Hey, man. How about that, man? Shalom. Hey, Shalom, Mark. Y'all bashing y'all bashing Kakadash Brakata.
Hey, Shalom, calling you out by Shun Kakadash Brakata. Yeah, bro, I'm out here listening and St. John Salaki.
Bro, I knew you was gonna call in, bro. I knew you was gonna call in.
Hey, hey, Shalom, all the Aki on the comment board. Y'all by Shun outside by Shun Kakadash Brakata. So all you brothers out there, man.
Hey, turn your YouTube off, man. You guys sound like Kevin Samuels. Man. Can you turn your YouTube off? Turn your YouTube down, man.
All right, so hey, real quick, I had 2 points I wanted to put in there and make. The first point was normalcy bias, because that's what a lot of people, especially here in America, you suffer from. You're not used to hardships. You're not used to hardship on a nationwide scale. So it says psychologists call it normalcy bias.
I still hear myself in the background a little bit.
All right, I just turned my volume down because my microphone picks up. But yeah, the volume's down. I got you on a phone. I you on speakerphone. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I hear you. I hear something in the background. I don't know.
Yeah, everything's off. All the volume settings down.
Okay. Okay. Kind of. I didn't know if you were playing something in the back. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm playing something on my phone. Okay, you got it, bro.
Brother Salaki about that. So I was mentioning normalcy bias. Sorry. How about Sean Shy about Sean Kakadash for the thumbs all you argue and that want us to be apostles and others a great millstone. It's a brother Gabori Howard real quick. Hey, from GMS Hawaii. So I was looking up 2 points. One point was normalcy bias, because normalcy bias is something that the vast majority of Americans suffer from. You got people here that are like, these preppers that know that something big is coming. You got people that follow geopolitics across the world, but a lot of times those videos don't max out in viewership because the vast majority of people think that, this thing is going to pass. Y'all saw the whole thing in 2020 with the pandemic, and that went over, and you sort of kind of got your normal lives together. Well, no. Things are getting terrible at a fast rate. So it says psychologists call it normalcy bias. Normalcy bias is in the most stripped down form is a psychological state of denial. It is a tendency for people to believe that things in life will continue to go on the way they always have.
Hold on, hold on. Can y'all hear the brother? Y'all let me know. Can y'all hear the brother? Because the brother talking about normalcy bias and the mindsets of the people. And this relates to a thief in the night. Yeah. If somebody can put a thief in the night scripture into the comment board. Baba Kushai, can you start over on the normalcy bias, bro? Because this is a great point.
So again, normalcy bias. Again, the vast majority of people here in America, they suffer from normalcy bias because they're not used to issues affecting them on a nationwide scale. You know, you look at Venezuela, you look at Colombia, you look at Brazil, you look at a lot of these South American countries. Shoot, look at the Middle East, look at Syria, look at what's going on around these countries that are around about the state of Israel. You know, they're catching hell because geopolitics is really hitting them. Look at what's going on in Russia. So again, psychologists call it normalcy bias. Normalcy bias is in the most stripped down form is the psychological state of denial. It is a tendency how so many people here in America, they're wired in a state of denial. You know, the first thing somebody will say, or if somebody attack America, we'll just shoot nuclear missiles at them, and that's it. And you don't understand the ramifications of shooting a nuclear missile at a country, at a sovereign country. The vast majority of Americans believe that America's rule is going to stay strong and firm across the world, and they don't see how it's loosening across the world, how these nations are preparing war against the horde that sits upon many waters. It says normalcy bias is a cognitive bias which leads people to disbelieve or minimize threat warnings. Same thing we're doing right now. So we're out there through the spirit power of Yahweh Shai on the highways and byways warning our people of all the nations. We're talking to our people primarily, and we're warning them of the threat, and they minimize it. Oh shit, that ain't gonna happen in my time. Things are gonna bounce back. You know, there's a scripture in I think 2 Peter 3, it might be 1 Peter 3, where it says that they are willingly ignorant of the times that come, because the Most High flooded the earth before, and Noah stood out there prophesying and preaching for over 120 years, and nobody listened until the day the flood came and took them all away. You know, and that's what's coming right now. You got war being prepared, and you got those people actually sitting here thinking that, well, no, things are going to be good, and they listen to this in the mainstream news media, and they believe that, oh, Biden's got a grip on it, Kamala's got a grip on it. Nah, man, these people are they're losing grip. The elders had mentioned this in the previous conversation with the brother from the priest from Mississippi, and he talked about Russia's advanced missile defense system. It says it is Russia's most. It says it is Russia's most advanced new generation surface-to-air missile system, capable of intercepting intercontinental ballistic missiles. It can also target hypersonic cruise missiles and can intercept ballistic missiles within a range of 600 kilometers. Bro, you ain't got nothing to fight against that. Once these shit start flying, y'all niggas start dying. That's the truth. That's because in a matter of minutes, this place can be taken over. But yet, you average Americans, you jakes that's in the world, you jakes that's concerned with folly. You know, like the brother said, I forget his Salakia brother, the brother from Mississippi said, man, you got to digress from what's really going on to address simple situations. And we're so far in the game that you should understand. Mississippi said, man, we so far in the game where you should understand that these things, this is what's more pressing than this shit. Now, we can talk about it, we can mention it, we can speak about it, but hey, wait a minute, man. If you're going to be taken by every wind of doctrine, this ain't for you right now. If you're going to be swayed by every wind of doctrine, this ain't for you, because right now what we have going on are worldwide issues. And like Elder Pastor Tahar said on our live stream preaching, or the stream preaching yesterday, he said, hey, these certain things got to happen. When you start seeing wars and rumors of wars and this stuff popping off, hey, you got to understand what's coming before that, the MOTP. okay, worldwide, including America, worldwide distress upon nations. Okay, but mainly that MOTB, meaning that your faith got to be tried. Your faith has to be tried. Something has to go down in your personal life, in your personal world, where your faith is going to be tried to the point where they're going to tell you, will actually will make you, will force you try to at least to get the MOTB, so that you can so-called survive. And for the vast majority of the people, they're going to run to this thing because they have a sense of normalcy by it. Oh, if I take it, I'll be able to thrive in this in this new system. Or if I take it, all my debt's going to be wiped away. Or if I take it, my kids going to eat. And like the elder said, wars are started over food, man. You don't understand. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape hunger shall the sword destroy. So a lot of people on the earth, they're going to die from famine. Why? Because war is coming. And we all know that with world wars, any war, famine always follows it. Famine follows a war like a cape.
Yeah,
So,
it usually comes before it.
Yep, there you go.
It usually comes before it, man. War follows famine like a cape.
Yeah.
If you really want to say it right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, war follows famine like a cape. It's a part of it. It's a part. It's like G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip.
It come with it.
It comes with it, bro. Because people who start losing their mind when they can't eat. And again, going back to normalcy bias, you think that these shelves are going to stay full and stock. Matter of fact, the brother Elder Ariala had mentioned that I think it might have been Elder Ariala or the brother that called it from Mississippi. They had mentioned that, I think it was Elder Ariala, they had mentioned that all of these stores are going to start going.
Yeah, it's contactless.
Yeah, contact stores, right?
Yeah.
So they're about to create, I think, like Amazon is creating like a 39,000 foot store where you're going to have that thing to get up in there.
Yep.
And to get out. And you know why? Because it's going to be, when war happens, rationing happens.
Yep.
You can only buy a certain amount of certain things. And you're going to have to make the immediate choice. Should I get this toilet tissue or should I get this piece of meat?
Bro.
Should I get this piece of...
Well, yeah, it's 2022. They went at Davos and they said by 2030, this is what it's gonna look like. Do you know how fast that's going? Do you know that's not no time? Like, bro, that will be here quick. Do you know how much they have to do right now to get that started? Do you know how big that? This the world, the whole world, bro. How can I say it like Joe Biden? The whole world. It's the world. All of you. I want all of you to have the MOTB.
Yeah.
It's for you. I don't understand. Like, listen, bro. They want the whole world to have the MOTB. They getting started right now.
Yep. Because see, with Jay, they always think that things happen overnight. Oh, they don't make no. I can't believe this happened. I didn't see this coming. Wait a minute. They've been preparing for it. They've been preparing it right in your face for the last 10, 15 years.
Bro, if they need 1 billion people chipped per year, it's 8 years. You know what I mean? Like they're doing it in your face. They need everybody to comply. In order to comply, I'm gonna have to. The alpha wolf. What does he do to the beta wolf that's trying to rise up? He beat his ass.
Yeah, I'm about to say he put him down. He got to put him down. Got to check him.
So all the wolves are about to fight.
Yeah, and they get it ready. And they're banding together. They're banding together. These nations.
The little beta wolves are getting together to gang up against the alpha.
Yep. Yeah. And they're ready to go. And guess what? The Lord's going to give these smaller nations their strength to attack this beast and to take her out. But the scripture said that 10 horns shall hate the horde.
Yep.
These 10 economic communities, these 10 major economic communities, such as Germany, France, the UK, just using major European countries, for example, because you also mentioned, a lot of y'all, see, people don't listen, they don't watch, they don't read. A lot of these different nations, these European nations, they need gas from Russia. Gas, you ever heard of Gazprom?
Yeah, Gazprom.
They need every winter. Germany has to go to Russia, or has to establish a type of conflict with Russia to get their fuel to survive. And winters are harsh in the Eastern Europe. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of you people don't understand it. You talk about, oh, these nations, they can say what they want. Yeah, that's it. Gazprom, man. You know, and it's a huge Russian oil and natural gas conglomerate that supplies Eastern Europe and Western Europe with all their gas for the year. All of it. And guess what? Wars are fought over gas. Look at what happened in Iraq in 2003 and on. They commanded those oil fields. Why? Because they want to have a foothold over there. Yeah, there it is, man. Gas pipelines going from Russia. That's like, you can put that picture back up.
Yeah, but it was asking for me to do all this extra shit.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about that. But like, the point of the matter is that these are worldwide things. These affect local and state and worldwide economies, man. And so, to be in a sense of normalcy bias and think that, well, things are going to go back to normal, things are going to continue to go as they are, you got to be like smoking crack. You know, like literally injecting it into your mind to say, you know what, this, that, and the third. And like the elder brother said from Mississippi, man, yo, these kings worry about stuff like this. Nobody gives a damn about Brittany Reiner. Nobody gives a damn about Kanye West. Nobody gives a damn. Look at this. This stuff goes from Russia to, and this is the reason why. Russia has a problem with NATO forming on the borders of Ukraine and Russia. Because look, their gas pipelines. And you know what's gonna happen? If a war breaks out, them pipelines gonna be stopped, bro.
What do you think is gonna happen? Day after day.
Yeah, for real.
That's what's gonna happen, bro.
For real, bro.
As soon as war happens, anybody that's not working with Russia, your gas is
cut off.
Skirt.
Off. In war, in winters, look at what happened in World War I. Look what happened in World War II. Those wars were fought in the wintertime, bro. And it was hell for them people, man. So many people that dwell upon the earth shall what? Perish from famine. Can't cook your food. Can't light a fire. And you, Americans, you don't even know how to do none of that. The vast majority of you don't even know how to do none of that. So what's going to kill you is that normalcy bias. The last thing I had was, this is Ezekiel chapter 38. This is I'm reading the title on the blue letter. This is a prophecy about God in the future of Israel. Going down in verse 10. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. It shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into the mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take to spoil and to take to prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. And why is he going to do that? Because y'all doing it to him. Y'all coming up against his borders. You advancing your strength against his borders. What you think gonna happen? You gonna get left out here unscathed? Nah. This is the reason why Russia is making deals with these other nations, not only for financial reasons but for strategic reasons. Okay, and you got them making deals with all of South America. One of the biggest countries in South America is Brazil. Okay, and even though America is doing big financial business with Brazil, guess what? When things hit the fan, people take sides. And people are like, I'm going to move with the winning side, or I'm going to move with the stronger side. Because it's evident that America is fucking through. It's evident. Yep. Yeah, that's all I had, brother. I was Zaquan Salaki.
Hey, man, the water, bro. The water, man. Appreciate you calling in and sending in that edification, bro, you know. But, you know, that pretty much is the point, you know. And, you know, you can hit me up anytime, bro. Hey, man, shalom.
All right, brother.
Shalom. Yeah, man. And so, you know, really that's the point of everything, you know. Well, I wanted to kind of go over a lot of the highlights that have been going on through the week in this impromptu, but specifically highlight this situation with Russia and how it can hey, there's not many times where we have this type of situation happen, and this time it's escalating to a point to where it needs to be paid attention to. So hey, yeah, DTA, we're gonna watch and see how everything manifests. We don't know what's gonna happen. We just know that it's a powder keg that can potentially turn into some. Eventually, a lot of times these situations, they die down. They come up and they die down. They come up and they die down. But eventually, it's gonna pop, and we're just watching and reporting on it as we see it heat up. This is heating up. They might come and end up having some type of epic peace talks. And I just want to say, Joe Biden jump on there. I know I can, we don't want to fight. We want peace. And then they make some stupid ass peace treaty and whatever. That can happen. Who knows? I don't, It's up to Yahweh Shem Shah. But we know all the beginnings of sorrows, the wars, and the scripture says, it doesn't just say wars, it says rumors of wars. It can be a part of the rumors of war, or it might be a part of war. But we also know that the scriptures talk about the famine, the pestilence, the distress of the nations, tumults and perplexity. All these things are turning up, like the brothers from North Carolina put on. This is the year to turn up. These things are turning up. And so we know that the return of Yahweh Shai is upon us. Okay, and that's real talk. And so that should send an urgency in all of us about being in the spirit and being in lockstep with what he wants, And so, hey, man, call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, or Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Akim, out there. Pushing the word sincerity and truth. On to the next one, man. Shalom.